Hi guys, my name is Kelsey Rudinsky and I did my research on gender in the media. So my main focuses were on how gender is portrayed in Hollywood and then the effects that gender has in Hollywood. So more specifically, my three main factors were the roles given in Hollywood, the pay received, and the types of interview questions that are being asked. So first, I'm going to talk about the roles given. In G-rated films, there was a 3-to-1 male to female character ratio. And even with this limited number of female characters, female cartoons still showed more skin than their male counterparts. And even more, female characters were more likely to be drawn with slim waistlines and are usually sexy in appearance, even if they are animals. And you can kind of see in the three pictures that I found here some common cartoons. These girls do have very slim waistlines as opposed to the males in these cartoons who don't necessarily. In children's movies, 19.5% of the characters with careers are females, which is a very small number. And between 2006 and 2009, there were no G-rated films showing women in careers in medical science, business leaders, law, or politics. This small ratio of women in cartoons and working women leaves girls with very few role models to have in their most important developmental years. So continuing on, in the film Meet the Robinsons, this is the cast. You can see some of the women do have thin waistlines. So 4 of the 13 main characters are females. And then 3 of the 4 main female characters are drawn with extremely thin waistlines, while only 1 of the 9 main male characters are drawn with thin waistlines. The professions in this movie, the females have careers. One is a housewife, one is a retired scientist, and one is a model train enthusiast, and then the other was unknown. While the males have professions as canon engineers, inventors, students, painters, and one is an intergalactic pizza man, or also known as a superhero in the movie. So this one movie just really sums up everything about the children's movies. The women don't have very prominent careers, and there aren't very many women in the movie. There is also an underrepresentation of women in television. There are 3 times as many white men as women, and only 16% of newscasters are women. In television, women are portrayed as sex objects similar to cartoons. They're often young, thin, and beautiful, and more often than not, their personalities are passive, incompetent, dependent, and they're perceived as dumb, usually. In The Little Mermaid, Ariel gives up everything to be what Eric wants her to be, the human in the movie. And so this is a perfect example of women being portrayed as dependent and passive, because she would do anything to be with him, even leaving her family, leaving the ocean to become a human and be with him. So next I wanted to talk about the wage gap. In the United States, the wage gap is a major topic. Females earn 77 cents to a man's dollar. And in Hollywood, the wage gap is even more prevalent. Women earn 44 cents to a man's dollar in Hollywood. When comparing the top paid actors to actresses, the top paid actors made 2.5 times more than the actresses. Angelina Jolie made about as much as 2 of the lowest paid actors, Denzel Washington and Liam Neeson. In Iron Man 3, the stars were Gwyneth Paltrow and Robert Downey Jr. So Gwyneth Paltrow made $19 million and Robert Downey Jr. made $75 million. So this was in the same movie, and there is obviously a huge gap in their pay. So according to Forbes list, top paid actors and actresses, which also includes international stars, there were only 4 actresses who earned more than $20 million, while there were 21 actors who earned more than $20 million. The Federalist, which is a political journal, found that women's presence in behind-the-scenes roles, excluding directing, has gone up only 1% since 1998. And in 2012, women directed 9% of the top grossing films, which is the same as in 1998. So their presence in behind-the-scenes roles is obviously very low. In television, the pay gap isn't as prominent because showcasts are able to negotiate their contracts together, so it usually winds up being more fair for everyone. Sofia Vergara of Modern Family and Kaylee Cuoco Sweetening of The Big Bang Theory both earned about $28.5 million last year, which was similar to the male co-stars of their show. However, not all shows are this fair. To make the top paid TV stars list, male actors needed to make at least $9.5 million, while actresses only needed to make $5 million, which is nearly half as less. Recently, California has taken strides to end the wage gap, and Patricia Arquette has been a frontrunner for this new legislation, the California Fair Pay Act. So on October 6, 2015, this new law was passed, the California Fair Pay Act, and it adds to the current legislation, which is employers cannot pay less based on gender. So the new law ensures that employers cannot find ways around this. So that includes if there's someone with a different job title, they can be paid the same, or someone at a different location, they have to be paid the same. So an example I found was a female housekeeper who cleans hotel rooms may challenge the wages paid to a male janitor who cleans the lobby and banquet rooms. So the last aspect that I wanted to talk about was the questions asked. In the 2014 awards season, women started this campaign called the Ask Her More campaign. It was started with the Representation Project, and it encourages journalists to eliminate sexist questioning. Women decided that they wanted to be asked more than who are they wearing, more than about clothes, what their makeup routine was before the show, and about motherhood. They found that these were common questions for them, while the male stars were getting asked more important questions, they thought. So this all started at the 2013 SAG Awards. When being interviewed, it is common for cameras to pan up and down women's bodies to show off their dress, is what the networks claim. So when this was happening to Cate Blanchett on the E! Network, she followed the camera down and asked the operator if he does that to the guys too. And so to continue the protest, Jennifer Aniston, Julianne Moore, Reese Witherspoon, and Elizabeth Moss refused to put their hand in E's Manicam the following year, which is just a fake red carpet that women are supposed to walk their manicures down to show off their nails. They wanted to spend more time answering questions about their craft instead. So in the future, roles given to women should be less sexualized. Women should have careers showcasing their full abilities. More female characters should be present in groups and programs to more accurately represent the population, which is about a 50-50 ratio instead of the 3-to-1 ratio. And this will give especially young girls better role models and just really even more role models, adding more women to programs. So strides are already being made to eliminate the pay gap, and so these strides need to continue to be made. The California Fair Pay Act sets an example for other states to implement the same kind of program. And in the future on the red carpet, we should continue with the concept of the Ask Her More campaign and work to eliminate sexist questioning